Good afternoon, Evan. How are you today, kid?
Are you ready?
Yeah, this is what fandom is made of. This is called being a sports fan, having a do-or-die playoff game, whether it's a Game 7, whether it's a wild card situation, whether it's pick your favorite poison, it don't matter. This is why we love sports. This is the stuff that motivates us and captivates us. We're all worried all day long. We've got butterflies. We're going to drugstores testing ourselves to make sure we're still bleeding human blood. And it's Yankees, Red Sox. I couldn't think of a better way for the playoff run to start.
There are a lot of Yankee fans right now who are sick. They have a stomach ache. They're nervous. This is not necessarily an enjoyable experience.
I disagree 100%.
The
butterflies are what's special.
No, listen. It's special when you talk about it 5 years from now. It's special when you say, you remember that great night we had because we won. But a do-or-die game like this, and Yankee fans are used to this. You had this in 15, you had this in 17, you had this in 18. This has become, I don't want to say old hat, but you have experience with the wild card game. It is nerve-wracking. I mean, every pitch of a baseball game, I'm not even kidding you, ball one to whoever's leading off today, I'll say Gleyber Torres, is going to excite you.
That's
Strike
right.
one is going to tick you off. It's great in a lot of ways, but dude, it is stressful. And I know there are Yankee fans right now because I have felt this before. You have a stomach ache right now. You don't feel good right now.
I disagree 100%. Positive vibes only, Evan. Positive vibes.
It's not.
The stomach ache that you reference is what makes it special. It's like, where are you watching the game tonight? Did you wash your favorite lucky shirt? Who's got the lucky hat? Whose house are we going to? What time are we getting out of work so we can have a couple pregame pops? All that stuff. Before we even start breaking the game down and the strengths and weaknesses and what's the right lineup against Evaldi tonight and no Martinez for them and no DJ LeMahieu for us, all that stuff, like, it's all encompassing. Like, no disrespect to the Giants and Jets, who both won their first game 48 hours ago. It's great. But today, the New York sports fans' focus is all-encompassing Yankees, Red Sox. So much so, I heard that not normally, but we were going to go on the air today, and they were going to have us work right up until pregame at 7:30 tonight. And no one told me any different, so I told my family I'll be home late tonight because I got to go to 7:30, and I'm willing to do that for the New York Yankee fan, right? And I'm driving in today, and after hearing the brown-nosing, kiss-assing interview with Joe Judge this morning, who said right there 400 times this morning, and Boomer was more interested in the Patriot game than the Giants this morning.
Dude, I'm glad you said that. Now, Boomer, I love you if you're listening, but this wasn't me. This was Big Mac. Big Mac in the car starts cursing out Boomer, saying, "Hey, Boomer, I don't give a bleep about the Patriots. Stop asking him about it."
All right, regardless of all that, all right?
Yes.
It's all day now. It's getting ready for tonight's moment. It is a moment that we will remember forever. Where we were, what happened in the game, bad calls, good calls, managerial decisions. And I, for one, I'm in a very positive mood, as I always am, but I love it. Big Show Bob. Now, you sound terrible on that microphone, but outside of that, we are represented in Boston. Evan's in Boston right now.
I am here right now.
To get a feel for what's going on in Boston. And, of course, if you're a Yankee fan, we want you on the phones all day, 877-337-6666. So here's my first question. You're in the belly of the beast right now.
Yes.
Is there a cocky arrogance at all to the Red Sox fan going into tonight's game?
I have run into about 4 or 5 Red Sox fans, and they don't trust their team. It's interesting. It's almost like if you talk to most Yankee fans, and we have throughout the season, wouldn't you agree that most of this Yankee season was spent being concerned and complaining and worrying and ripping the manager? You'd agree that was most of the season.
A good portion of it, for sure.
Yes. I get that same impression from Red Sox fans, and I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure if it's because they've won championships recently. I don't know if it's that they just don't like this team, but I'm not getting an arrogance from them. I'm getting this, they're kind of expecting doom tonight, which,
good.
I didn't know if I should expect that or not from the Red Sox fan, and I don't know if it's J.D. Martinez being out, or maybe it's the fact their pitching stinks, because let's be honest, the Red Sox pitching is not very good, but I get a lot of worry from the Red Sox fans that I've run into so far here in the belly of the beast.
Good. I hope they're worried. I hope they have a miserable day. I hope you're surrounded by miserable people. You probably are. Don't say hi to any of them if you don't want to. Remember, you represent WFAN in New York. And to finish the thought I had, so I was driving in today, right?
Yes.
And I hear that we're not going till 7:30 tonight. Sweeney Murdy has usurped us and has taken the 7 to 7:30 reign. And he's bringing on Bucky Dent. Because we haven't heard that story before.
Is that like a good karma thing? Because obviously it's a one-game playoff, just like in 1978. Is that the thought
It's
here?
funny. I was, for the audience is saying, I was talking to Evan yesterday, and I said, look, I really think the focus, the entire show today, has to be Yankee Red Sox. I think,
of course.
We'll sprinkle in a couple things just as news things that take place, football-wise and, whatever else happens during the day. We'll certainly bring that to people, but the focus all afternoon long has got to be the build-up to tonight's game. It's, you may not get another game, so let's milk this for all it is. Because,
Right.
Yankee sports and New York sports fans, that's what they're doing all day is about whether or not Garrett Cole's got the goods.
Right.
He's got an ERA over 6 in 3 starts at Boston this year. But the flip side is the Yankee offense at Fenway is so good. I heard Moose and Maggie telling a story that prior to Sunday's final game of the season, the MLB reached out to the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Mariners, and the Blue Jays if there was a 4-way tie. Kind of where do you want to be, A, B, C, or D?
Yeah, there are choices involved in this, which was odd, yeah.
And supposedly, according to what I heard on the Midday Show today, was that the New York Yankees would have chosen to play in Fenway if it was their choice.
Yeah, and
how
because
about that?
What would have happened, and I thought this was fascinating if we ever got the tie. So the Blue Jays and Red Sox were going to host games, and then the Yankees were going to get the choice. Do you want to go to Toronto? Do you want to go to Boston? And I believe it or not, I was debating this with a friend of mine on Sunday, because these scenarios are always fascinating. Where would you rather go? And it's interesting that came out. Because Craig, you never want that stuff to come out because it's easy bulletin board material.
Right. It's like, because now it's like the Yankees want to be in Fenway, and it's like it's a thing we talked about last week. When you say to somebody, who do you want to play, never answer that question because
no, of course not.
If you get that team and you lose, shame on you, right?
No, I agree, by the way. I would have chosen Boston, but I would never want that to come out.
Right.
I wouldn't want the Boston Red Sox. And look, I don't know how much bulletin board material actually works. I don't know. But still, why would you ever want that information out there? But that is interesting, and I agree with them. I would rather play the Red Sox than the Toronto Blue Jays.
Well, I'm pumped up for it. I know Yankee fans are too. If you're if you're a New Yorker, this is the focus. And I say that with all due respect to, Jet fans are still, loving the win against Tennessee. Giant fans are loving the win against the Saints, getting ready for the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday. Met fans are loving the fact that the managerial search is now officially underway. Net fans are happy that, according to a recent poll, 72% of people that responded to the poll say they're the favorite to win the NBA championship. The Lakers are at 17%. So you're going into prohibitive favorite to bring a trophy to Brooklyn.
Bro, well, hold on. You think that makes me feel better?
I think that
makes
probably
me excited?
bothers the hell out of you because of Robert Titus. But yeah, you are the prohibitive favorite to go. That's months and months and months from now. The focus tonight is on Yankee baseball. We are going to break it down the way baseball insiders do. That's why I work with Evan. All right?
Right.
Like, who should be in the lineup tonight against Evaldi? I think we all pretty much know what the lineup's going to be, but maybe we don't. And listen, I'm a new Yankee fan. Everybody knows that. Mm-hmm. But from the minute I woke up today, I've been walking on like cloud 9 because we have not been together for a year yet. This is we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary in about a month. And all due respect to the net run last year to the second round, I've not experienced that amazing New York moment yet, other than the KD's Game 5 against Milwaukee. But I'm not a net fan, so you loved it, obviously.
Yes.
Tonight is the first real official let's go get some New York sporting event, really, in a year since the Yankees last had a New York sports moment, wouldn't you say?
Oh, no doubt. And, the Yankee wild card game experience, we've had a lot of it, but here's the real big difference between them then and now. Number one, it's the Red Sox. It's not just simply, hey, we're playing the Oakland A's or the Minnesota Twins to make the playoffs, which is pivotal and huge. But now you're facing a team that most Yankee fans say they hate the most. I understand this rivalry is not what it was in 03 and 04. I get that. But it's the Red Sox.
Yep.
You're at Fenway freaking Park playing a game that you'll never, ever forget. That's one thing about this game, to your point, Craig. Good or bad, by the way. Good or bad. We are going to remember everything about Yankees versus Red Sox, one game to get in. So it's not just a winner-take-all wild card game, which we've gotten used to. It's the added element that it's Yankees, Red Sox, and you're facing a guy that used to be on your team in Nate Eovaldi. I mean, there's a lot of sexy components about what's going to go down in about 6 hours tonight.
I agree. If this were, the Astros have juice because of recent history, but if you're, no matter how old a Yankee fan you are, you grow up, the first thing you learn about your Yankee fandom is that you hate the Red Sox. That's the first thing you learn. Hey, listen, you're a Yankee fan, you hate the Red Sox, and then, Dad explains why, which is why this game has taken on, for me, some extra emotional value, because it's not just one and done, it's one and done against the Red Sox. And we'll take all your calls, 877-337-6666. Evan is in Boston. He'll be at Fenway Park tonight. He's there with Big Mac, and we'll find out about the trip up there and going to Fenway, all that stuff tomorrow, because today it's about baseball, which has always been New York's pastime, and tonight you'll see why. We'll even get predictions and thoughts and inside skinny on everything, but I'll start with this, Evan. Many people have asked me over the last 24 hours, so what's Evan's deal? Is Evan going to continue the anti-Yankee crap?
What?
Is Evan going to be tweaking people's gonads today and rooting for the Red Sox? Is he picking the Red Sox? And I figured, why don't we start the show off right? Is Evan Roberts a wolf in sheep's clothing?
What does that mean?
Are you going tonight, and will you be rooting for the Red Sox?
Well, first of all, I call it like it is, all right? So when I make a prediction to you, it's not what I necessarily want. It's how I feel.
Yeah, I don't care about your prediction.
Okay,
I want to know who you
want to know.
I want to know right now to start the show off, who are you rooting for?
I'm in Boston right now. I am surrounded by Red Sox fans. I will be in Fenway Park surrounded by Red Sox fans. I think there'll be a decent amount of Yankee fans there, but overall I will be surrounded by Red Sox fans.
Yeah.
My natural reaction as a human is to be a heel. My natural reaction is to not want people to be happy. And so tonight, I'm in Boston, and I'd prefer that Bostonians aren't happy. Does that answer your question, Craig?
I need to hear you say it.
What do you want me to say?
Who is Evan Roberts rooting for in tonight's game?
I am rooting against the Boston Red Sox.
Who are you rooting for?
Are you trying to get Met fans to be pissed at me? Is that what you're looking for?
It's official now, folks. Evan Roberts is rooting for the New York Yankees tonight.
Listen, do you understand where I'm coming from?
I'm going to leave it right there, Evan.
I'm going to be surrounded by... Yeah. And you know what? I got an issue with you that I want you to address. Okay? It's very important, and it's related to tonight.
Right, we'll get to it after the break. No worries.
All right.
877-337-6666. Evan Roberts is a Yankee fan. He'll be sitting next to a Yankee fan. He'll be rooting for the Yankees at tonight's game. We'll get your calls.
Any of that.
No,
none of that.
We interpreted what you said. It's like the ancient hieroglyphics on the walls. We don't know what they really said, but we interpret it to be what we want them to say.
Okay.